Is everybody awake and rise and shine? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Edmonton. We are one of two Edmonton-based Unitarian churches. The second one, of course, is our sister church in Westwood. Now, my name is Theresa Wilkinson, and I'll be joined by Reverend Rosemary Morrison as your service leader today. We hope you feel welcome here. As a gentle reminder, we are a scent-free environment as we have attendees that do have severe allergies. The Unitarian Church is a faith of creedless community dedicated to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace a pluralistic philosophy, opening our hearts and minds to diverse ideas, feelings, and expressions of our world community. Whatever your faith, whomever you love, however you identify, you are welcome here today. I now welcome the following people for announcements: Reverend Rosemary and Ed Declan.
Good morning. Welcome on this beautiful Sunday morning, one of the warmest days so far of the year, I think, and congratulations for choosing coming together in community over gardening, walking, biking, strolling, swimming. Congratulations. All the places that we'll probably head to right after. My name is the Reverend Rosemary Morrison. My pronouns are she and her, and it is my pleasure and honor to serve this congregation. The one thing that I wanted to talk about very briefly was that this Wednesday is the last UU's on Tap for the year. The UU's on Tap will probably start up again in October, and that's at 6 o'clock this coming Wednesday at 3 Vikings on 124th Street, just off 107th. Lots of room there. We had 25 folks out last time, and it was really fun. People visiting with one another. It's a great opportunity to get to know other congregants in a low-key, informal environment where no one has to do the dishes except the paid staff. Declan.
Good morning. Does anyone here like movies? Good, because I love movies, and I would love to tell you about our free movie night here at the church. We're going to be watching an animated movie called Flow, which is about an adorable cat going on an adventure. Doesn't that sound awesome? All right, so that is this Friday, which I believe is the 30th at 6 p.m. Right here in the church. Free of charge, but please do bring your own snacks and drinks. So come on down for a fun movie night.
Our theme for the month is imagination. J.M. Barrie wrote in Peter Pan, "The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it." What do you think UCE is capable of? In what ways have we clipped our own wings? Let's explore the possibilities together. We respectfully acknowledge that we were located on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional gathering place for diverse Indigenous peoples, including the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota, Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, and Anishinaabe. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Inuit, and many others, whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. We ask that you take a moment to ensure your cell phones and noise-emitting devices are silenced. For those hearing impaired, and our ushers do have audio aids available. We are glad to have you with us this morning. We hope you find something in the service today that nourishes your spirit and helps you find and keep your balance. We open the service now with a musical prelude, offering each of us a time of quiet contemplation and inspiration. Please welcome Karen. Thank you, Karen. That was wonderful. I now invite Andrea Graham for our chalice lighting. Please light the flame after these words. Reverend Michelle Collins, Nurturing Imagination by Reverend Michelle Collins. Come, let us gather in the sacred space where imagination is a soil rich with possibility. Let us plant seeds of wonder, water them with curiosity, and tend them with community. May our minds open, our hearts awaken, and together may we nourish visions that grow beyond today. And come, let us gather and imagine them. Now for one of my favorite parts of the service, we get to start to sing. Our first hymn today is number 389, Gathered Here. Now I know, and most of you know, that certain people of this congregation love to sing it as a round. And I'm sure if we sing it once through together, and I'm sure we would all love, we can do it as a round, to have a little bit of fun this early morning. So for everyone in Sanctuary and everyone online, we do have the words on the back of the screen there. So if you would rise in body and spirit, or if you're willing and able, then come us and join in singing number 389, Gathered Here.
So we'll do, as Theresa said, once through all together, and then we'll break into a round. I always start over here first. I'll help both sides as I can. Thank you. And you can help that side. I'll help this side. Perfect.
right. So one of the purposes of this church is to encourage all who gather to grow more generous in spirit and action. And with that, I welcome Rosemary to give us the instructions on our collection.
So this is the last Sunday we're going to try this, and then next month we'll go back to a regularly scheduled way of doing it. So if I could get the ushers to not start collecting until Theresa calls you. So just like last time and the time before, we're just trying it just to see how it goes. Then we'll talk about it, and then in next week we'll go back to our regular scheduled programming. So while Theresa is talking, she's going to call the offering, tell you about Y.E.S.S, and as soon as that is done, she'll call the ushers to begin passing the plate. And as soon as the plate has passed you by, you are free to get up and then light a candle of joy or concern. These two things are connected very intricately. We put our heart where our beliefs are, and we also contribute generously to this congregation so that we do have this spiritual community in which to share our abundance. So I invite Theresa back up to call the offering. So is that clear? Any questions? Okay.
Tag team, I'm it. It works, yeah. So our charity for the month, is Y.E.S.S, Youth Empowerment and Social Services. Y.E.S.S is a single point of access to immediate and low barrier physical, mental, cultural, and emotional health support for a safe place for youth aged 15 to 21 in Edmonton who are experiencing crisis. If you wish to receive a tax receipt for your donation, you can write on the donation envelope found in the table in the back of the sanctuary. Many members and friends donate monthly through automatic withdrawals from their accounts. To our friends online, you can donate at Charity of the Month on our UCE website. And thank you for your generosity of spirit and action. And so with that, it'll be, so we can collect the plates there. Yeah. And then as you finish collecting, you can go ahead, and as Rosemary said, you can light a candle of concern or sorrow, anything that's on your mind. And then we can certainly do, and we can do your from you I receive. We'll give that a moment there, but. Okay, so now, yep. Yeah, so.
As Theresa lights the last candle for us, I'm going to ask her to light one more. Theresa is lighting some candles to hold all the extra joys and sorrows that are still staying with us and still not turned into light. And also a candle for Dorothy Keeler. Her service is this Friday. Can someone tell me the time that has that memorized? 3 p.m. this Friday here in the sanctuary. With Reverend Brian Kiley officiating, and I'll be here and participating, and so I look forward to seeing you there as well. Thank you, Theresa. And I would like to draw your attention to these candles and the beauty that they manifest, representing all the beautiful things that are within you and within all of us, that we are able to let our lights shine through these candles, but also through what we hold in our hearts and for one another. So a few weeks ago, we sang Spirit of Life, and Theresa came up to me and she just loved that I had signed it. So when I was living in Victoria, I went to Capital Church, and one of the leaders of that church is Amanda Tarling, and her boy, Cal, is special needs, and his first language is sign language. And so at the end of every service at Capital, they sign Spirit of Life. But Cal doesn't do ASL, so I learned it a little bit different than ASL, American Sign Language. So I've been learning it all week because Theresa has asked me to show you the signs, and then we can sing it all together, and then you can do the signs as well. So we'll sing it through twice, maybe 3 times. And I will sign each time, and then each time we sing it, please add your own signs to it. You may either sing this sitting, staying seated, or rising in body or in spirit. Whatever is comfortable for you, because the signs are easier standing, but it's also a very spiritual song, so you might wish to remain seated. So your choice. Okay, bring us in.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
New depth to that song. All right. And now a reading from Wilferd A. Peterson. Imagination is a flame that ignites the creative spirit. Imagination lights up your mind by stroking mental fires. It can be stimulated from the outside through the senses or from inside through the driving power of curiosity and discontent. Imagination stimulates your thinking power by giving your mind abundant data with which to work. It opens the gate to dreams and fantasies so that you may become receptive as a little child in exploring the kingdom of ideas. Imagination guides you in your contacts with individuals and crowds, so you can discover new concepts and approaches. Imagination inspires you to look at everything with fresh eyes, as though you had just come forth from a dark tunnel into the light of day. Imagination becomes for you a magic lamp with which to search the darkness of the unknown, that you may discover new goals or chart more productive paths to old goals. Imagination helps you to recognize the reality of facts, but then to go beyond them, to penetrate beneath them, to rise above them in your search for creative answers to problems. Imagination stirs up the gift of God in thee, though through your imagination you touch and express the inspiration of the infinite. Imagination, in the words of Shakespeare, gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. You reach into the heavens to grasp an idea, then you bring it down to earth and make it work. Our next hymn will be 1051, We Are. The words will be displayed on the screen behind me. For the people online, they can certainly sing along if you're willing and able. And so please rise, and please rise in body and spirit as you're willing and able to sing We Are, number 1051.
We
Right. So service leader reflection. Boy, I had so many choices to choose from. In using imagination to achieve our goals, it's one way to help overcome obstacles. I work as a hairstylist for the last 25 years. And after that time frame, I've decided, it's like, you know what, let's add to my service. And so I decided to start doing up pedicures. Now, what were my first steps? One, sign up for enrollment. The first and most scary step of all. Second step, study and memorize materials. And there was a lot of it. Third step, go for in-person training. So 2 days in person, working on each other's student and bringing models in, right? And step 4 was doing models for practice. So far, out of 15, I've got 11 done, so far so good. And then step 5 is finally pass the practical exam. Now, even getting started in that, when I first started the studying process, working full-time and then also having the side project of earning certification for this service, I have to conserve my energy because I'm of a woman of a certain age. I'm not afraid to admit it. And so I went from copying down line by line by line by line and deciding, this is taking way too long and taking way too much energy. I said to myself, there has to be a better way to do this. So following technology, screenshot, click, save it, screenshot, click, save it, print, 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 and then study when I have downtime. And you know what? That works. But had I allowed those thoughts of overwhelming, then you know what? It would have been easy to give up. But with imagination, you can overcome any obstacle that you can come across. The answers may not come right away, but you give it a time and an open mind, and you can come up with solutions you never thought. So I ask you all to think about it. Is there something in your life that you want to achieve? And if there's an obstacle in your way, is there a way you can work around it or work with it? Sometimes obstacles can become beneficial in the long run. We can also have a common goal of a better world. Imagination can inspire us. What can we do to make the better world happen? Next, we have a video that everyone is welcome to sing along to. Some people may know it left, right, and center. And so I welcome to enjoy the video Imagine by none other than John Lennon.
I wanted to say that it's just a picture. So let your mind wander, let your eyes close, and just enjoy the music and sing along. So it's just a still picture of John. Pretty hard to go through the whole month with imagination as the theme, and not at least sing or listen to that one, isn't it? I was like, oh, we got to do Imagine by John Lennon, one of my favorite John Lennon pieces. And it's certainly used a lot, and perhaps too much sometimes, but it's beautiful and wonderful. Imagination. I live with a very active imagination. As a child, I would imagine up games and activities that were completely not doable. I'm thinking of a particular idea that I had when I was a child. I believe I was preschool, and I was kind of the ringleader. This is all going to surprise everyone. I was kind of the ringleader of a little group of girls. And anyway, so I decided, I put everybody up to it, that we were going to put on a little fair in Bev Clark's yard. And so it was going to be complete with merry-go-round, pony rides, clowns, cotton candy, bean toss, other games of chance, and of course my favorite, corn on the cob. Well, as you can imagine, 3 5-year-old girls didn't pull this off very well, but we did pull off something. And it was pretty good. We put on a little kind of county fair of sorts. We all kind of snuck food out of our parents' kitchens, and we had a couple of little games of chance, and somebody owned a clown costume. And we had a great time, and we invited all our friends, but it wasn't quite good enough to make the kind of money that we were hoping to make at the end of it. So it was a fundraiser for our adventures. And it was adorably fun. And it has stuck out in my imagination as one of my top memories from preschool. But it did not live up to what I had hoped for, and that's okay. Since then, I have put on very successful fairs of that type, directing summer camp on the shores of the Shuswap Lake. I directed kids camp for 2 years with my then partner, and every week we had a little county fair. And the leaders, it was so much easier to do it with a bunch of really creative, talented, 18, 19-year-olds to 25-year-olds. They were enthusiastic. One young woman, she was like, I'll do fortune telling. And she phoned up her dad. And then after that, every week she had all of her stuff and her, like the flowy curtains and everything. And the kids loved it. However, this would never have happened. And these, 40 kids a week for 8 weeks, for 2 summers, do the math. They loved it. And if I hadn't been a ridiculously precocious and too imaginative child, those 200 at least kids wouldn't have experienced that fun. These activities were born, as I said, out of the unreasonable and unrealistic imaginings of a busy 5-year-old. Our imaginations, therefore, are the birthplace of growth. Without our imaginations, we aren't going to get very far, are we? So I'm not going to talk very long because I want you to talk to one another. So in a minute, Ruth will put the people that are online into small groups. If you want to be put into a small group, and people will have a chance to talk to one another, depending on how many are there, of course. It might be easier, Ruth, to just keep everybody in the main group if there aren't too very, very many. So here's what I want you to talk about. And we've got a good 15 minutes to do this. Imagine you had a magic wand, and the congregation is as you think it should be, not what is simply possible. Then, if there is time, begin to think about what steps you might take to get us there, just like Theresa had these good steps to meet her goals, right? We need to have steps to meet our goals. What are you hoping for in this congregation? So I think wild thoughts and crazy ideas and wild imaginings are just exactly what we need to be doing today, every day, in our congregational life, in our personal life, in our romantic lives, whatever part of you there is that you would like to imagine how it could possibly be, how wonderful it could be. So I'll say it again. With your magic wand, because I'm about to give you all one, okay? Talk about an aspect or idea that would be the church of your imagination, if only you could imagine, and share that with your partners. So I'm kind of stalling here so you can think. And if there's time and you feel like it, what steps would you take to help the congregation get to the point that you can see in your mind's eye? And I think probably I'd like to add a caveat to that, and it's what steps you would take, not what you think others should take. So I'm asking you to be responsible, so it doesn't work if people say, oh, I think people should do this or that, or they should do this or that. No, it's like, what are you willing to do? What are the steps you are willing to do? Are you willing to bring a friend? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to talk about Unitarian Universalism? Are you willing to help plan an activity that might be a real catch, right? So, last time I'm going to repeat the question. With your magic wand, talk about an aspect or idea that would be the church, if only in your imagination, and share that with your partner. And if there's time and you're able, what steps would you take to help the congregation get to that point? So, Ruth is going to put folks into breakout rooms, and I'm going to invite you to form groups of 2, if you can, or 2 or 3. 3 at the most. And you've got quite a bit of time. Thank you. You've got quite a bit of time. A good 5 minutes each. So make sure you get into a group and have a conversation. So, is there anyone? I've got a couple questions. So let's say we're stalling while the online people come back. Let's pretend that the membership committee put on a Bring a Friend Sunday event, and we planned this really great. Yes? That's a yes? Okay. Is there any group that would and I mean brief, we've got just 5 or so minutes left in the service. Is there anyone that would like to say what their wondrous imagining was for this congregation? And I'll bring you the mic. And or something that you would like to do and have figured out the steps. I'm going to ask you these 2. Sure. Marilyn Gay. If you stand here, then the folks can see you.
Okay. Well, Lauren and I had a very exciting and animated discussion. We came at very positive, imaginative ideas from 2 completely different directions. My idea was grassroots. Let's open up the doors and welcome and serve the homeless people that are living across the street from us, camping under the shrubs. And Lauren's idea was, let's promote world peace and start horizontally talking to friends, neighbors, family members, and moving outward. I think that government needs to get the wake-up call as well.
Yes. Thank you. I've often, at Keeler Hall there, when it's like -40 and I know people are sleeping outside, I'm always like, can we just open the doors? Yeah. So I'm with you. Thanks, Marilyn. And
Yeah.
say
Hi,
your name.
my name's Bill, and I really enjoyed doing the sign language today with the hymn. And I thought it'd be really cool if we learn some of the common words like peace, love, spirit, things that, and using one language that is common to most people. And I don't think we need someone that does sign language to teach us. I think it's something that I'd like to learn myself. I'm a teacher of language, and I think every Sunday, if we learn just one, like, I don't know, 5 words, and sang the hymns and tried them out.
That's a lovely idea. I like that idea a lot. So people like that when we learned a little bit of signing for the song. I have always found that to be, I don't need 2 microphones. I have always found that. Anyone online, I'll give you a minute if there's anybody that's put anything into the chat to put it up. One more comment I think we've got time for. Lynn? Yes, and yeah, you'll need to come over here so the folks online can see you.
Hi, I'm Lynn. Yes, we had a great conversation, the 3 of us back there, Sylvia and Maureen and I, and we decided that, yes, that we would love to see a plethora of groups, of demographics, knowing who we are and enriching us, and we can enrich them, like we need them and they need us kind of thing. So what are the kinds of things that we can do to bring in different demographics? Maureen, who is of the millennial generation, said, for example, many of her generation really love meditation and yoga and those kinds of things. And that, if you had a kind of a free meditation class, maybe on a Saturday morning or afternoon, get people in to come in and do that and talk and converse. And then we can ask questions about the church. And what is this really about? Who are we? Someone can explain, well, this is what we are, this is what we do, and you're very welcome to come, right? That sort of thing. It's just to get the message out, which we have not been doing particularly well. Maureen has some wonderful ideas about social media, for example, which Instagram in particular, which she uses quite a bit in her work. And yeah, there are many ways to improve our communication externally as well as internally. We need more people and a wider variety of people. We need lots. We have the space. We have lots of opportunities. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then maybe we can do more of these things that are so wonderful for the community, like helping the homeless people. Mm-hmm. First, we need that solid foundation, the solid base here.
Yeah, I've talked about that a lot last month, that first we go deep and then we go wide. So I think probably for the last few years I've been working on, I've been working on helping the congregation do spiritual deepening and kind of doing some reflective work so that we can know who we are and what we are capable of and what we want to be. First we go deep and then we go wide. And I think in congregational life, we have to do them both almost simultaneously. We can't just say, oh, we can't do that yet. Although I hear you, I'm not contradicting you, Lynn. We do need some of both. We try our hand at a few things and see if they work while we are working on spiritually deepening. And music is the common language for all. We are hardwired to be attracted by rhythm. Doug. I agree with you, Doug. Even though Doug is online and he and I do a lot of conversation about music, even though Doug and I do not have similar tastes in music at all. And so Jane says, we talked about the differences in styles of worship and how we might be able to include a bigger variety of styles, and that we need to get the word out about UCE to family and friends. And I agree with all of those, and I think clicking in or tying yourselves into some of the CUC, Canadian Unitarian Council offerings, can also help us feel a little bit more connected to Unitarian Universalism in general and to the wider UU community here in Canada. So, and stay tuned for that. There's a lot of interesting things happening at the CUC level, board and staff level. Needed to make it, bring friends to the movie on Friday night, and come to UU's on Tap on Wednesday and get to know your fellow congregants. And those are really fun, easy ways to get a little bit more involved. Lynn? I agree. We need to be involved in social justice again, and that is in the works. We've got a new action team happening. So, and they will be working on that. And TD, in this last comment. Yeah. So TD is talking about getting more music in the services, or in just in general. She brought a friend to the Gordon Ritchie extravaganza, and so things like that are really important to be doing as well, because this is a city full of artists and musicians. So let's just take a moment. Take a couple deep breaths as we come to the end of our service, and you've been using your wild imaginations and talking to one another about what is in your brains and your hearts. Let's take a moment to reflect. Thank you. Let's sing together our final song. The words are there already. And you got to do when the Spirit says do. Don't wait. Do it. Like Nike. Please rise in body and or in spirit as you are willing and able, and sing out with us this last hymn. Extinguishing the chalice.
Okay. All right. Are we all done dancing and singing and ready? No, me neither. As we close our time together, can I ask Ashley Graham to extinguish our flame as I read these words from Reverend Michelle Collins? Though the flame is extinguished and the embers of imagination remain, carry them forward, dream boldly, act with love, and kindle new fires in the world. I'll invite Reverend Rosemary with our final words.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you to everyone that participated so beautifully in the service, for those on the planning team. Thank you for being service leader this morning. Theresa, this is Theresa's first time being service leader, and I'm really, thank you. You did a really great job. Thank you. Karen for music, and so many hands are involved in putting these services together. So thank you to all of you. So Wednesday, you use on tap. Friday is the movie, bring a beverage, a snack, and a friend. And you can bring a friend to use on tap too. And Friday is Dorothy Keeler's service here at 3 p.m. And next Sunday, well, you just don't want to miss, because there might be puppies and cats and gerbils, and sometimes a tiny bunny arrives. So make sure you come and bring your pet if you would like to have your pet blessed. I have saved the water from over the year, like since I got here, for from water communion, pet blessing, child namings, all of those things. I have water that I will bless your critters with. And of course, sometimes we cannot bring our pets. So like maybe if you had a pet elephant or something, or a horse, we would ask you not to bring that, but a picture would be awesome. All right. Thank you again for being here. And do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break and all things can be mended, as they say, but not with time. It is with intention. So go and love intentionally, and go and love extravagantly. I'd love to see how that feels and looks. And go and love unconditionally, for the broken world waits in darkness for the light that is within you. Go in peace, gentle people. Go in peace. And let us sing our linking song, Carry the Flame.